is it? Like, comedy thing on Sundays. I should go this Sunday. It's my friend. It's at my friend's Matt's house, but it's got like working comedians who go to it. I you know what I was saying.
I was gonna say you live in the LA area, so you have like no excuse. There's stand-up comedy everywhere.
Wow, well, I'm not trying to make any claims about a lack of venues or opportunities. I just genuinely, it's it's the last frontier kind of shit that I'm interested in that I've never done.
But you haven't done.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I've never done it, and it seems scary. It seems scarier than the media.
I mean, for me, I definitely go in with especially because I haven't got to go as much as I'd like, and because of the scarcity. But I mean, I definitely go in with a plan of like, all right, this is sort of the variable that I'm working on tonight, and if I get some good laughs, then great. But I'm by no, still working on kind of isolating some of the variables and figuring out where I want to go with it. But I haven't bombed yet either. That's
You get processy in your assessment of yourself.
Yeah.
In order to avoid assessing it as a work in of itself,
What's one of the things? If I go in with like success or failure, it's like, well, I don't even. That's, and I try to work on too many variables at once if I do it that way. So, but at the same time, I haven't actually failed. So, I suspect that. Well, everybody was kind of surprised the first night I went in, and they found out I hadn't done it before. I think.
What perked your interest in it, Eric?
Well, one thing that got me to going like, is one person left a comment one time about me being funny from more of a like, hey, I work in or I'm close around comedy business. I see a lot of working comedians. I'm familiar with this, and you actually should pursue it, kind of thing. It was a comment that was sufficiently credible in its authoritative tone that I was like, oh, that's actually encouraging. Maybe I should try to go do it one time.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Of course, it's very different being funny on the fly
if you
in the flow of a conversation or in the flow of a monologue even than it is executing a routine. And that's the question. That's what makes it scary. I feel more comfortable improvising shit, but I also feel like I wouldn't be ultimately as good as if I did some planning or something. I don't know.
Yeah. If you go though, you should get Kimberly or something to videotape.
Yeah, I definitely want Kimberly to go. She thinks I'm funny.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
since you're comfortable talking in front of people, so that helps a lot. Yeah, picking a routine is kind of but the ability to kind of edit on the fly and kind of see what's going on is important too, I think. I don't know. I honestly think that you probably wouldn't have as many of the negative, very difficult factors to deal with that a lot of people.
You do improv too.
Okay, I like improvising. I hate improv.
It's cool for the audience, I think. A lot of times, if they do it that way,
I went to a conference once, and they had an improv group come and make us do things. the most exciting thing in the conference. But
I mean, I'm persnickety about shit like that.
With
Like, I don't
improv,
wanna- Go ahead.
with improv, you have to be like interactive, and that gets boring if you're not good at it. For the
Yeah, I don't.
audience, at least.
well, it
don't-
gets boring if the other people aren't, you know.
Right. I mean, it's I either want to carry it, or ideally, it's either like something I'm doing because I'm doing something, or I probably don't want to do it because it's gonna frustrate me. Because comedy is the most punitive of all the media. You can sing one note slightly pitchy in a song and probably get away with it, and nobody, except people with good facial notice it. And you can get away with man. But humor, like one bad joke stings a lot. Even though I'm good at sweeping up after them because I tell a lot of jokes, so I have plenty of misses. I've learned how to manage pacing to get past them fast or whatever. But if I'm, let's say something dramatic and I'm boring. Well, boring is not exactly cringy, it's just boring. But bad humor it's like an assault upon somebody.
That's what makes it so fun. High stakes. I'm also aware I'm insane, so. I spent like a week dwelling on it, and then I went and did it.
There's something I'm sure that's very nice about the framing of being a stand-up comedian's frame with a mic, like a spotlight on you or something.
Yeah, to me, it all kind of came together. Like I was notably nervous, much more nervous than I ever get, which is, like I said, a lot of fun. But well, yeah, once I picked up the mic, I felt actually kind of calmed down. Like I felt cool once I picked up the mic and was looking at the audience, which is supposedly backwards, but that's the way it worked for me.
Well, it took me a little while to calm down at the beginning of my last live musical performance.
Do you perform live a lot, or?
No. And that was actually probably the first time I'd ever performed live with a band where I was the lead singer,
Okay.
like the main guy. But regardless, it took me like a last song to calm down. I was kind of like too hyped up.
Well, that's nice.
I think that comedy doesn't give you much opportunity to find the stride. You got to come out right in stride and persist in stride.
Yeah.
The duration of your 5 minutes.
Yeah, you don't get to really change gears in 5 minutes. I mean, if you just got a list of jokes or something, I mean, it's a little easier, I guess. But the way I do it, you can't really change stride because it all builds up, and like some of the later jokes don't make sense without the earlier jokes. And you're like, ah. I think my hardest thing is judging which ones are the best. Like I can usually get a laugh, but I don't always. So far, I haven't always picked the right ones to like end with.
And I ifly reliable for us.
Right. I'm pretty good intros. I've done so far. I've been successful with my intros. My first, like probably 2 minutes is usually spot on or quite good. And then there's that swampy middle bit. And you're like, eh.
What's the worst you've seen, like in stand-up comedy? Like
What do you mean?
like someone who got the worst reactions or no reactions out of people.
I've seen people get no reactions. So where I do comedy is 100 miles from where I live, and the biggest crowd that I've got to go do it for is like 20 drunk college students. But sometimes it's like 3 bikers. That's probably more common. So it's one of those things. It's very hit or miss because it's like, well, you have like 2 people that are going to laugh at anything, and so it's not like you have you can get like half the crowd to laugh because that's like 1 person. But I've seen a lot of people bomb. I mean,
I think most of them are bad. Most stand-up comedians are terrible.
I personally don't like most of the ones that I go see that do the
Famous ones.
there with me. Yeah, I mean,
I think that one crowd you had, like you had posted an audio clip, Audra, of you being on stage. You had that one crowd, and I was like, wow, tough crowd.
I think there was like 3 people.
I mean, they sounded like stone sober and like it was a seminar.
Yeah.
See,
Well, I
that'll
think
be-
that night there was like 10 bikers in there that had been drinking a while, and I was like, all right. And I probably played to that crowd a little bit better than some of the comedians. But and then they all left, and there's like these 3 people that just got there and hadn't drank yet. And you're like, oh, great.
Well, see, I think that would be a good way to do a conversation. Go up there and say, "Hi, my name's Dr. Lionel Springwolf Catherglow, and I'm going to be doing the comedy for this segment of the evening's entertainment. And so I just want to make sure that I went over the logistics of it with you guys first. I'm going to begin with some traditional jokes. And I'm not sure which tradition I'm going to draw from, but if they're going to be tradition related. And then just continue this thing. So if you have any traditions, either traditional jokes or jokes about traditions, please make your requests now. We've only got a couple minutes left, so I'm sorry to abuse so much of my time with this intro, but I did think it was important that I articulate to you guys exactly what it was you could expect from this comedy experience. I'm not really a consumer of comedy per se. I'm not really quite sure of what normally you're expecting to get as a product, but I read a couple books on it, and I recognize the sound of the laughter. I'm able to distinguish it from crying and just nothing. So I think I'm well prepared. I feel prepared. I feel prepared coming in here tonight to kill it, which means to do a really good job, and just everyone thinks I'm hilarious. Is what I'm anticipating is going to be the outcome. I got a minute and a half left. Okay, well, I'm just going to dive right into the jokes. There are 3 gentlemen, and were they walking? I think they were walking into the bar. I don't remember the punchline to that. See, that's why I didn't even want to do traditional jokes, but somebody earlier said I should try it.
Yeah,
I made one up before, but
Running out the clock with too much intuition.
Yeah. And then I got the heckler. He's pointing out what I'm doing. I'm trying to hide that from you guys. Shameful. Thanks, good night. There's my comedy routine. It's pretty good for freestyle, right?
yeah.
I'm gonna come around and you guys give me $1.
All your friends are like, "Oh, Eric, you're so funny. You should be a comedian." So you are now.
Mm-hmm. I just practiced.
Eric, you should rejoin the room because your mic is still messed up.
Your mom's face is still messed up.
Ooh.
Feel the pain, Anthony. You just gotta exist when you get all the trash.
What?
Came into the wrong room.
That might work if you never laughed. Like, you'd have to roll with, like, the deadpan the whole way.
I like the idea of.
To connect. But it would be,
I actually like the idea of using comedy rather than to pander to a group. Like, go in there and then just, like, use an audience to experiment on.
that's more or less what I do.
Just like going up in there and being like, so I just became a father recently, you know, waiting to see if like anyone at all is like, woo, or like if they have any sort of reaction.
Yeah.
And then I'd just be like, yeah, I actually didn't become a father. I just wanted to see where everyone landed on breeding. You know, continue rolling from there.
Yeah.
I had the one thing I talked about, like going on with note cards and like looking back at those while I'm like trying to do bits. And then if somebody points it out, just be like, these aren't notes. These are just pictures of boobs. Like, I'm just trying to calm myself. I don't need that and just start throwing them everywhere. It's like, rather than going on with the intention of like, oh, this is a prop I'm going to use or something, it's like just having shit in store in case.
Right.
It's like trying to pad ahead of time for.
It's one of those things, you have contingency plans. You're like, when
Right.
you plant seeds and you're like, and if anybody bites, you know, you
Uh-huh.
have a little bait, yeah. That'd be fun.
It's abnormally blue.
The room changes colors from yellow to blue.
And that's because the light was on. Now the light's off, so this is just sunlight, which I can block up there. See, sunlight's different.
No, just at nighttime.
No, I'm right.
Yellow. I know your
I'm
room.
actually right. I'm
Ken?
fairly certain I'm right.
I know your room.
Mark, it is yellow during the night because it's the light. The one I turn on right over yonder.
There it is. What I've been searching for my whole life.
The whole time. There it
It's
is.
a lot.
I wonder what I would do in a comedy routine. I'd probably spend the first 5 minutes lamenting the fact that I'm on the wrong side of it. I'd be like, you know, I'm up here. You get to have all the fun. You get to heckle. I get to worry. I mean, unless I were to start asking you really personal questions, in which case then you might worry. So you keep that in mind. You know, continue rolling with it.
It would just be really awkward, and I'd probably keep dropping my shit. That's probably all that would happen.
I like the idea of waiting for a heckler and then going down to their table and just like not continuing with the comedy bit at all, just going down, sitting down with them with the microphone and just asking the very personal questions. You're like, I have a question for you. What were you hoping to achieve? Or you just wanted me to not be able to persist in my jokes? Was that it? I think maybe it was something a bit deeper. No? Okay. I feel like you get pretty much either drunk people heckling or no, I don't know if this is a dichotomy. It's not a dichotomy.
I feel like this room is good practice for hecklers.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point though. I mean Eric has a good platform to practice and whatnot.
I've always thought I would do better in podcast format because there's something to riff off of. When everybody's looking to you, I'm always like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
Well, I mean they'd be doing that in real life too.
Yeah, I like with the crowd, like you get, there's a nice excitement. You get a feel for it. Like you can kind of feel what they're,
Yeah.
I don't know, you just kind of, yeah.
Well, you'd be doing that before you went up there too. You'd be grouping up people into groups. If these are the drunk biker people,
Yeah, I wish I had that many groups. That would be really fun.
These are the young liberal hippies.
Yeah.
It's like, who here's Republican? Who here's Democrat? Okay, that's cool. Just going with stuff.
Umbrella time. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting just to see. Oh, he is.
He is.
I probably do things eerily similar, or not eerily similar, but I do things somewhat reminiscent of Carrot Top. I'd probably bring up props.
Hey, some good comedians for prop comedians.
For my own amusement. I wouldn't even care if they would laugh.
I actually just bought a Steve Martin is doing a master class, and so I bought access to that the other day.
Okay.
It's like $90. I did the James Patterson masterclass a while back, and it was really well done. So I was like, oh, this is a good deal for listening to people talk. I like classes because they just make me think about things. A lot of it, you're like, yeah. Every now and then you're like, oh, that's a cool trick.
Seems like one key I've noticed with humor is if it's too just off the cuff. I'm not off the cuff, but if it's like just too out there, there's nothing to tether it. There's got to be like you can play with absurdity, but it's like it's got to be tied to something. It seems like.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to go absurdity, a lot of the humor is in, I think, juxtaposition with something. So you usually start with something that's not absurd, and then you make it absurd, right?
Well, I think it was actually Steve Martin that said something like this. He was like, order amongst chaos is funny. Chaos amongst order is funny. And I think he just said like chaos amongst chaos isn't, it's not necessarily, or like order amongst order. Like when it's all just the same, it's like, oh yeah, there's,
Yeah. No, what I've noticed in the few times I've done it is that the mood I pick, for me, it really changes how it can be one of those anchors or juxtapositions. Like it really changes. Because as an experiment, I've done kind of some A/B testing, and I've tried 2 or 3 different kind of, not drastically different, but just slightly different moods to do the set in, and the same joke. A few of the same jokes in there, and some of them go over with a certain mood and don't go over at all with the other.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to resort back to kind of almost deadpan, well, duh.
Mm-hmm.
Real kind of almost monotone, and just saying, but you're going along kind of monotone, and then you say something ridiculous in there, or, you get to the joke and they're like, oh, wait. If I try to be kind of jovial, my jokes don't seem to work very well. I got to be kind of telling it to them. They're like, well, clearly. But I do get the delayed laugh. I've noticed that.
just like,
it takes a second. There's a slight pause. It's like processing. Which is kind of interesting because it means that I don't have to have a lot, but I do have to have some dead space in my jokes to give them that second to laugh. I can't just roll from joke to joke, or they don't usually get them all.
You can keep rolling if you use that as a sort of pseudo filler where it sounds like you're about to say something, and then a second or so later you're like, and they should be getting it about now, and then right around the time that somebody starts laughing.
Yeah, no, sometimes I roll. Like I say, it just depends. I haven't been able to analyze that on paper and figure out exactly what to do. all the timing stuff I just kind of roll with when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
But
Had a-
it does kind of amuse me. Like, because there's a lot of words and jokes and things you can say that people get instant laughs, and I almost think that those are kind of they're kind of cheap.
Mhm.
I'm like, nah. I like the ones that's like they're still gonna laugh, but they're gonna have to think about it a second.
I wonder how cycling through Mania and Deadpan would work. Just be like, come in. All right, who's excited? That's it's like if you get no reaction, like people are like, it's like, well, that's probably going to save you from disappointment here, but you also probably have fairly shitty lives. No, not opening up to it. Okay, all right.
I think on a longer set, it might be pretty cool.
Then we got fucking Janelle over here who only hackles. She's like, should I come up with my own shit or just tell people they suck? I'm gonna go with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay, pick on Janelle. All she does is pick on me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
You make it too easy.
Yeah, he's 16, so there's
Go
that.
over to room Lunchy and you can heckle Eric.
I don't do anything to you ever.
I gotta agree with Anthony here. I gotta agree. Anthony is an upstanding boy. He comes in here and he offers so much to the conversation, Janelle, and consistently, you're being unnecessarily rude to him, and I don't appreciate it.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, fuck you, Anthony.
Damn it.
I'm kidding, boy. I'm kidding. Mm-hmm.
I offer sometimes to the conversation. Usually it's in the chat. So no one reads the chat.
All right, so here's the deal. TWFP has this interesting effect of making me feel like I'm socializing, but then my body's like, so what are we doing? What are we going to go? Since we're socializing, and I'm like, oh. I got real friends, but I think I'd have to like dig with a pickaxe to get them out of their houses.
I have to get up and go in a few hours. I have to go to work. I had a new job. I quit my first one today.
Where are you working at now?
Well, before it was now it's at the Great Escape, but before it was at Bear Paddle Swim School for lifeguard training, and I had to teach little kids how to swim. And I went there for like my first one this morning, and then they were like, all right, Anthony, you have to be happy, energetic, and ready to work with children. And I was like, those are 3 things that do not describe me. So I did it once, and I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm never coming back. So then I got a new job.
What is the Great Escape?
It's like an outdoor furniture store. Like, I'm just going to be building the shit, like stocking it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go help one of my buddies move in a couple hours to move furniture, not building furniture. Fun, fun, fun.
Fun, 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 fun.
If you got legs and you sit on it, I'm game.
It's an outdoor furniture store. It's for outdoor furniture. She's like, what happens with it rains?
Or outdoor store? Door store?
Back in my day, outdoor fun just meant going down to the quarry and sitting in a puddle.
Yep.
Kestra's asking because I want to know what will happen when it rains. Said, I want to know. How do they run that company?
You like mussels, Ken? Like the oyster clam variety?
I've had them once, and I didn't get over it. Like, I might be able to eat them again, but I was kind of shy my first time.
Okay. I hate oysters, but I do like mussels.
Ah! Damn it.
I got a lot of reaction out of that.
No. I tried to spit, and a little bit of it got on my shirt.
You tried to spit?
He tried to unleash his inner alpaca.
It seems like you succeeded, though. Some spit came out of your mouth and went on your shirt.
He's like, don't you hate it whenever you try to spit and then you lose an organ? Me too. Mark, do you work anywhere? Mark?
I help out sometimes at this dive shop.
Dive shop.
And at a farm, but I don't get paid for that. It's just like helping out over there.
I see.
Okay.
I see. If you could sustain yourself, would you enjoy farm work stuff? Is that something you like?
No.
No. Would you prefer something more technical or obvious, or maybe more obviously things correlating with history?
Yeah, I mean it's cool because you can think about a lot of stuff when you're, doing whatever, but you're still not utilizing your brain in that capacity, at least for what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, and I like teaching people's fun. You just get the floor and you can talk about stuff you're interested in. That sounds like a good deal.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you want to do?
I mean, that doesn't sound half bad, but I think for me it's more pertaining to life as it's occurring. And so I think I would like to experience more in order to get a better idea of what it is that I'm talking about when I'm telling people my different thoughts pertaining to life. Because kind of like history, it's like to put it simply, I just want to know what I'm talking about. I want to have actual expertise. But I also don't mind doing stuff. I like to understand some things about welding. Not only understand, more than like watching stuff, like doing stuff, building things. I like that.
Yeah.
But it seems like whatever I do, it'll be sort of peripheral or in something to human interactions. That's what I'm trying to say.
So find out what the center is and do that.
Center.
Yeah, so all the things that are peripheral you can do.
Right.
When you're doing whatever is in the center.
Yeah.
Whatever allows you to do all those things that you like doing.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of jobs like that. Where you have to be mechanical and build things as well as, I don't know.
Well, the mechanical stuff that falls more peripheral.
Yeah, so that's what I mean, though. I mean, that would be
Right.
the peripheral bit. Yeah.
Right.
The engineering mind and would be, whatever it is. It could be some sort of scientific expedition to Kenya to study Serengeti elephants or something.
Mhm.
You have to come up with some sort of, I don't know, contraption to measure elephant ears to make sure that the elephant ears are of appropriate length.
Well, I mean, I like coming around here, especially when we have conversations about how we think about things or how we feel about things. You know, like just getting in depth about those areas. But then after a while, I want to couple it with like direct experience of interacting with people and then seeing them sort of exist in their lives, so that there's like this. There's like this, not necessarily clash, but like a sort of duality with wanting to couple theory with direct experience. So I'll have to pursue that more.
And how are you linking that to job?
Well, as far as the job stuff goes, as I said, I want direct experience, but then I also want to get an idea of what it's like working different places, you know, how people get jobs, you know, people moving different places, the sorts of goals people have. Basically, want to get sort of, when I try to describe it, it gets sort of convoluted, but if there was a primary point that I could direct to, mostly it would be, I want to help enable people to pursue what makes them feel alive. That's basically that. Rather than directly try to cater and be like, here you go, here it is on a silver platter.
Like do it with the person.
Maybe. I mean, not everybody may need that from me, and there's certainly an aspect of that being what I want compared to somebody else's needs. But
Like to offer direction rather than just handing it to them. Or, you know.
yeah. This may be my own personal bias, just based off of what I've seen from my own life, but I feel like people... See, I don't know if I actually know this, but my hunch is that people have an ability to direct the course of their own lives rather than somebody else needing to tell them. And that's not needing to tell them what to do. That's obviously in case by case, not necessarily it. Like you could benefit from having advice given to you in a certain case. So you could benefit from, you know, especially when you're a kid, having people make decisions for you. But no, I guess just I find it so difficult to sum up. Energy to whatever you're using, self-indulgence and cook you. Thank you. I needed that. I didn't know what I was going to do without that, Kestrel. That is one thing I find frustrating, is like trying to verbalize effectively.
Were you saying that you want to do that with other people and help them direct themselves, or are you saying that you want that yourself?
Well, I was trying to draw a contrast there, which was that, yes, that is what I want for myself. And I was saying other people aren't going to have the same needs as me. But I still perceive it as enough of a need that it's like, it's a sort of a drive that I've discovered about myself. So
you want that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think most people want that too. I don't think
Well, I noticed a deficit of it. So if I were to find that, then I just sort of put two to two together in my head and, went along with the hunch that if other people do want that, then there will be a need for it, because I didn't just see an abundance of that.
Well, they come in different forms too. I don't know where you're looking. But
Could you be more specific?
well, you're just talking about that sort of mentality and philosophy, right?
Mhm.
You could have that in teaching or parenting or counseling.
Yeah.
Or, psychotherapy or all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Or just friends. Just, I don't know, here. God.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I know. I'm trying to think of all the different factors.
Summer. I hope you guys didn't hear any of that. If you did, I'm sorry.
I didn't really hear anything. You just like,
Okay.
Yeah, that was like really awkward.
No, my parents were screaming at each other. So.
oh no, I didn't hear it.
Okay, good. I got all worried.
If they get divorced, it's your fault.
No, they are. So.
Oh.
I come outside so I could like avoid their yelling, and it gets annoying, because, yeah, like. And they blocked my car on the driveway, so I can't go. So I just sit outside and wait. I'll be back in maybe like 5 minutes.
Yeah. What are you pondering now?
Just what we were talking about. I was trying to think of it as more of an example, because part of it, like when I asked you, like, what do you, do for like work or whatnot, is, asking it with the intention of like, well, are you pursuing the things that you want to pursue? Like,
I mean, in terms of that work, I'm a student.
mhm. Do you think that you'll be able to, maybe this isn't the right question, but pursue the jobs that you want to pursue after you get out of school? What sort of hurdles are you facing, if you know?
Um, like in terms of working where I want to work.
Yeah.
Well, if I don't like living around people. Like I don't want to live in a big city, but if I'm a professor, I'll probably have to somewhere. And so in terms of that, I wouldn't enjoy that. And I've been thinking about that recently too. You know, where I plan on raising a family versus where I'm working my own SI home, which would be important to me. I mean, I want to live in a cool place, you know. Apart from people, I want to live in the woods somewhere. Maybe back in Colorado. I mean, that'd be neat too. I'd go back to Buena Vista. But yeah, I mean, in terms of that, I guess would be a problem. I think if I put my mind to it, I mean, I can go where I want to go in the fields that I've chosen to go to. I'm not going to be working at Princeton or Yale or something, but you know.
Okay, so
I mean, I mainly worry about finding a woman. That's good.
Right.
That bothers me a lot more.
All the chicks were supposed to be in church.
Was that?
He said, dude, I thought all the chicks were supposed to be in church.
Yeah. You know, the number of, I guess the rate, probability, I don't know. The number of virgins within the church that get married are equal to the number of virgins that get married outside of church or wait until marriage. There's no difference. As in zero, right? It's that. It's all messed up. I don't know if that statistic is necessarily true, but I've heard that before. And I'm sure it depends on the community and what church and where it's located and everything else.
Right. Yeah, how old are you, Mark? What?
You too? How old am I?
Yes, that was the question.
Oh, I thought I answered. I thought 22. I thought yeah.
Mark, we're the same age.
Cool.
Is it?
I mean, 22 is my favorite number, so yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
I like 22.
Yep. Yeah, I guess two factors I've noticed over the years is that I've encountered a lot of people who, you know, it's like whether or not it comes to their work or just living, they're just sort of like, you know, they're just doing it, you know, whatever. You know, it's like the whatever attitude, or like, you know, just the same shit, different day. I'm not talking about, when somebody's not happy, because I guess happiness it's nice and all. It's just not the point, I don't think. It's like like when somebody's really not going anywhere and you can tell that bothers them, but they're still not really how to not go nowhere. Like they're not sure how to go somewhere, or they hear a lot of ideas about how to go somewhere, but they're not really sure on the particulars of how to carry that out.
Who's
people who, trying to think of what to call the demographic. I guess it would primarily be younger people, and like the Hoosers. Now, I guess maybe some people around our age, but I think I might want to get involved with people who are younger, like still in their teenage years. They're getting like a whole bunch of messages of like, well, this is how life works, and they're like, well, okay. And
yeah,
then
right.
after a while, they're like, what the fuck? I'd rather try to get to them and counsel them that they are, like, obviously I'd have to give different information to different kids, because different people are going to need different things, but still just sort of, I guess I would like to gauge where they're at, and then sort of go from there as to what sort of advice I would give, because
Yeah, and I was thinking about that too. Being a high school teacher is a noble thing. I think it'd be a more noble thing than being a professor in a lot of ways, because of those reasons.
I think you impact more people as a high school teacher or counselor than you would as a professor. I don't know though.
In some ways, it's just different in the way that you're impacting them.
I think Ken would make a great high school counselor. I don't know. You're funny. You'd probably be great with kids. You'd probably give half decent advice. I don't know. It's just a hunch.
You'd probably not be shit. Thank you, Anthony. No, I mean seriously, thank you.
No.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good counselor. I think he'd be a good teacher. He's good at explaining things out.
That's because I don't understand shit unless it's explained out.
Well, good.
Yeah, that's
There
a
you
good
go.
thing.
People are like, well, you see, it's with all the metaphysical equity of the slabs interacting with one another on a transdimensional form. And I'm like, can you do it with charades? Like, can we make it can you draw it? Thank you.
Plus, you'd also seem like you'd be actually willing to give half decent advice and actually willing to work with the kids. Most of them just don't give a shit. It's just cookie cutter stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean basically, yeah. Let me reword it. If there's something that I hate seeing enough to want to do something about it, it's seeing young people who are like they're bored. I'm like, you are not at the age to be bored. I guess it's obviously from personal experience, but yeah. Speaking of which, Anthony,
Yeah.
you're a youngin' in a way. I mean, you're only 5 years younger than me, but still, you fit the demographic. I'm sure you've had so many different people tell you what you should do.
Yeah.
And what they think's up. But sort of what are you looking forward to further down the line? But then also, what do you got going on right now?
Pretty day, right?
Yeah, it is pretty.
Planning on doing anything?
I don't know. I think I might make some plans or something.
You want me to take you guys to the pool today?
I might have to go to the Great Escape later
Why?
with Michael. Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, the question was, I was asking sort of what do you got going on more in the immediate future and the future. Like what's your plans for things, but also what are you doing?
Well,
You told me about the Great Escape working, but
yeah. Well, what's up? Sorry. Can Like, give me 1 minute.
Are you talking about? Yeah. It's Carolina.
So, Mark, how can the best looking guy in the room be having lady problems? I don't understand it.
I
What's
don't.
going on?
Well, I mean, first off, I don't even buy that I'm attractive. I don't even buy that.
Well, that's not for you to decide. It's for me.
Right.
And the many, many ladies who have commented on it.
Mark, I'd
It's something I've internalized since when I was like little. Yeah.
What is?
the unattractive.
Yeah.
Mark, if I was drunk,
Yeah.
some magic might happen. I'm just saying.
Get some fuck.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So, okay,
I mean,
yeah, go on. What's the?
lady problems. I mean, I go after crazy ones. I mean, that's a problem.
Yep. Okay.
And I mean, Taylor does the same thing. It might be a type 8 ENTP thing. I don't know.
Where'd you go to meet ladies?
Where do I go to meet them? I mean, the one I was in a 4-year relationship with, I met at church. And the other one I met at church.
Okay.
And crazy.
So you're 22. If you've been in a 4-year relationship, then it's like, you know, that's most of your adult life, isn't it? Really.
What?
If you're in a 4-year relationship and you're now 22,
Yeah.
then it must have been most of your adult life.
Yeah.
With this girl.
Yeah. And, you know, that kind of sucked. I mean, we planned everything out together. We had a kid, and I took care of her when she was pregnant, and she ended up getting an abortion without telling me about it.
Oh man, that's shitty.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And that part just kind of sucks too. Is playing something out with somebody and then having that fall through.
Yeah, but it's not so much a case of falling through, is it, as finding out that, you know, you don't want to be with the baby murderer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And, you know, what are you doing? Where do you meet? Do you go out on dates and stuff? And are you actively looking for a partner now?
Yeah, no, I've been on a few dates, but nobody I was interested in.
A few dates. Okay.
Yeah.
People need to know.
I'm not like going on a date every weekend or anything like that.
So it's not really got to the stage, because when you say you're worrying about it, it's not as if you've actually put in, you know, I've been looking, I've been trying to get down to finding a partner, and it's just, you know, so it sounds like the worrying is a little bit cart before the horse kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe. I mean, I know what I'm looking for too, so it means that. So I'm not going to go on a date with somebody if I don't think they're that.
Yeah, but you're not going to find out if they're that until you get meeting women on a regular basis and put in the effort in, are you?
Yeah.
Because somebody like you, and probably, you've got to the stage now where you're looking for the type of, I may be wrong, but you're looking for a specific type of woman that shares your values and you're attractive to. So this pool of women that you're actually looking to draw from is it's going to be pretty minute.
It is. It's pretty small.
So that's
where the worrying comes in.
Not expect to go on a few dates and then to meet this kind of person, you know, and enough of these kind of people to have a one that's sort of right for you kind of thing. So,
and I wonder, because my ESTP buddy basically said the same thing as you. I mean, you're just saying I was. Am I echoing?
No, fine here.
I thought it was with Kestrel's mic. I can't tell.
Okay, I'll put my thing on.
But anyway, you're saying I was overthinking things, and I need to chase after more women and be more aggressive. And
Sorry, can you say that again? I just had to.
His friend said he was overthinking things and that he needed to chase more women and be more
my
aggressive.
ESTP friend. So he's going from an SE point of view, right?